Hey guys, I just wanted to make a quick video today about how to not let your resume go stale, and also have some tips for how to freshen up your resume should it be stale. So first off, let me first define what I mean by having a resume go stale. Having a resume go stale can really apply to any field, but we're extremely susceptible to it here in the tech industry. So software developers, IT folk, that kind of thing. Really what having a stale resume means is that the technologies that you have listed on your resume are old. They're no longer seen as the latest and greatest. They were cool, new, modern tech maybe 5-6 years ago, but they're not so relevant these days. So why is this a bad thing, having the resume go stale? Let me start off by saying, I do manage people, so I do a lot of hiring, and I see a lot of resumes, and I see a lot of really talented developers whose resumes are otherwise good, except for the fact that maybe the technology that's listed on there is 10 years old. The person may have 20 years of software development experience, but the latest technology they've ever touched is just ASP. Not even ASP.NET, not ASP.NET Core, but old school ASP. At this point, I don't really care how good the rest of their resume is. They're not going to be a fit on my team. They're not going to be a fit for my company. And unfortunately, I don't move past that. I don't bring them in for an interview. I just move on to the next. So, what this essentially does, if you wind up working one of these jobs and staying there for too long, working with old technology, is you wind up lowering your market value. And that's extremely bad thing. We can command a pretty good salary in this industry, and if you wind up kind of shoveling yourself into a corner, where you can't really go anywhere, it's not a good thing. You can't command a high salary. I've seen some guys that have had 15 years of experience have to go and pick up another junior level job again, because they spent too much time away from modern technology. And this is something to also be aware of for people in my level too. When they're in management, I have to make sure that I actively spend time in code, that I'm doing code reviews, that I'm still doing pair programming with my employees, that I'm still freshening my chops, still doing research on the side, because I don't want my resume to go stale while I'm spending most of my time doing business stuff these days, because I may not always have that opportunity. I may have to go back to developing someday, and I like developing, so that might not be a bad thing. But so basically, we don't want our resume to go stale because we want to maximize our market value. We want to command a higher salary. We want to be desirable, and we want people to notice us. So basically, what happens if you're in a job using old technology? What should you do? Simple answer: leave. Start looking for another job. Obviously, it's going to be a little bit more difficult if your resume is stale to find a new job. Doesn't mean it's going to be impossible. There are some things that you can do to help yourself get there, though. So this is what I'll say: some tips on how to freshen up a stale resume. Basically, spend some time with newer technology. Sign up for websites like Pluralsight or lynda.com, where you can go online and take some courses with some of the newer technology. If your thing was JavaScript and say, you've been using jQuery forever, go and do some research into React, Angular, Node, become familiar and comfortable with those. That way, when you're on an interview, you might be able to say, hey, I've never used this in person, but I've spent a lot of time doing this on my own. And that honestly would be enough for me to give somebody with years of experience a shot, at least bring them in for an interview. Books, I can't begin to tell you how much reading books has affected me in my success. The more you read, the more you know. The YouTube videos and lynda.com and all these other things they're all well and good, but usually the information in books is going to be a lot better. So definitely books, and of course YouTube videos are fine as well. One thing I did want to note here, there is probably one time that I may consider taking a job that's using obsolete technology, and that would be for an engineer fresh out of school. Somebody that doesn't have any industry experience at all. You know, my first job fresh out of college was using WinForms, an old WinForms Microsoft Desk application, you know. It wasn't the latest and greatest at the time, but it got me in the door, got me a year's worth of experience in programming, and I was able to take that and move on to a more modern job in the year after that. So if somebody's fresh out of college, sure, you know, if that's the only thing that you can find, take it. It's better to get some experience in technology that's obsolete than to get no experience and to be sitting down not collecting a paycheck, you know. So yeah, that's really all I had to say on this. I just wanted to make a quick video, my first video actually. So I hope that you liked it. Click subscribe at the bottom and click for alerts. I'll be continuing to put out information here. Most of it's going to be around the tech industry, career, success, investments, finance, nutrition, fitness. I'm into a whole lot of things. My blog is live-engineered.com, and it's about living a life that is engineered in a way that is intentional and strategic to help you accomplish your goals. So with that, hope to see you guys later. Bye.